Hello and welcome to Business Communication. This is Introduction to Business Communication. The subtopics are as follows: Introduction to Business Communication, Effective Business Communication in Organization, Methods of Communication in Organization, Communication Media or Channels, Classification of Communication in Organizations, Communication Process, Barriers to Effective Communication, Communication across cultures, legal aspects of business communication, and the impact of technology in communication. Introduction to business communication. The word communication is derived from Latin word communicare. That means to impart, to participate, to share, or to make common. Communication can therefore be defined as the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, or feelings between individuals or groups. Business communication is the process of sharing information within and outside of an organization to achieve business goals. Functions or purposes of communication in an organization. Some of those are information sharing, problem solving and decision making, coordination, motivation and inspiration of employees, relationship building, conflict resolution, training and development, feedback, and brand image. Effective business communication in organizations are principles, guidelines, also known as 7 C's to follow to ensure effective communication. One, clarity. Your message must be easy to understand. Conciseness, that is, be brief and to the point. Concreteness, being specific, definite, and use of facts or figures. Then we have correctness. The information must be factually and grammatically accurate. Then we have coherence. Your message should be logical and flow smoothly. We have completeness, that is, provide all the information the reader needs to know. And then we have courtesy, be respectful, polite, and empathetic. Benefits of effective communication in an organization, that is enhanced collaboration, improved morale, increased efficiency, better decision making, conflict resolution, stronger relationships, greater innovation, clear objectives, customer satisfaction, crisis management, among others. Continuation of effective business communication in organization. We are going to look at the factors that affect communication in organizations. One is organizational structure and culture, channels and technology, physical and environmental factors, language and jargon gaps. We have psychological and interpersonal factors, time and flow, leadership and management style, policies and procedures, diversity and demographic factors like age, culture. We have rapid technological advancement, globalization, cultural differences, legal and regulatory requirements, evolving social norms, political climate. Then we have environmental and external disruptions. Methods of communication in organization. Some of the methods used to communicate in organizations are as follows: emails, meetings, phone calls, reports, memos, also known as that is memorandums, instant messaging, IM. We have intranet, we have newsletters, social media, and others. Communication media or channels. Communication media or channels is the path through which messages moves from the sender to the receiver. The main channels used are as follows. We have verbal, also known as oral channels, that is use of words. We have written channels, that is use words put in writing, which can be physical or electronic. We have visual channels, use of visual elements like images, charts, graphs, or videos to convey messages. We have nonverbal channels. Nonverbal channels can be like, for example, body language, also known as kinestics, kinesics. We also have paralanguage, we have proxemics, we have haptics, we have appearance, and we have chronemics. Communication Media or channels continuation. Factors to consider when choosing the channel of communication. We have cost, record retention, if you want to go back to it later on. We have confidentiality level. We have security and integrity of the message. We have urgency and feedback timeline. We have physical and geographical distance. We have timing and time zone. We have available resources and technology. We have complexity and nature of the message. And we also have recipient's status. For example, is that person able to read or to receive the message that you are sending them? Classification of communication in organizations. Communication in organizations can be classified as follows. That is by the direction of the flow. It can be downward, it can be upward, it can be horizontal or diagonal, also called cross-channel communication. We also, it can, another way classification is by formality, that is formal or informal. We also have by nature of the message, that is internal or external. And we also have by mode or channel of communication, which we've seen verbal, written, and verbal or visual. Communication process. The process of communication begins when one person, that is the sender, wants to transmit an idea to someone else, that's the receiver. Then the person converts, that is encoding the message into a language which reflects the idea. Then the message is transmitted through an appropriate channel or media. When the receiver gets the message, he interprets it, which is decoding, then gives feedback. Elements of communication, like we've seen: sender, message, encoding, channel, receiver, decoding, feedback, then brain drain. Brain drain meaning breakdown of the cycle, causing misunderstanding. 7, barriers to effective communication. A barrier is anything that hinders effective communication, which are as follows. We have personal barriers, that is barriers related to the sender or to the receiver. We have physical stroke environmental barriers like noise, distance, poor layout. We have psychological barriers like fear of superiors, emotions, closed minds, attitude, and opinions. We also have biological barriers that are related to a person. These may arise due to disabilities or physical incapabilities. We also have organizational barriers, and we have language or semantic barriers. Continuation to barriers to effective communication. How do we overcome these barriers? We have senders' responsibility, like selecting appropriate channels, using simple and appropriate languages, being sensitive to the other person, use of frequent repetition, reinstatement or reinforcement, being supportive, developing interest in the subject of communication and preparing oneself for that, then clarifying ideas, then avoiding prejudices. Then we have receivers' responsibility. The person should stop and listen, that is, participate actively. Then we also have the person should be patient. The person should ask questions, then adopt a positive and open-minded attitude, and then avoid deliberately misinterpreting the message. Communication across cultures. This is the process of exchanging meaningful and clear information across different cultures. Some of the barriers to this cross-cultural communication can be language, can be nonverbal cues, can be values and beliefs, and also stereotyping. Strategies for effective for this cultural communication is: do your research, avoid slang and jargon, listen actively, be observant, and show respect. We are going to look at legal aspects of business communication. Legal aspects refers to the body of laws, regulations, and legal precedents that govern how individuals, businesses, and organizations communicate. The key legal aspects are as follows. We have defamation, and in defamation we have slander and we have libel. We also have invasion of privacy. We have data privacy protection. We have another one. We have continuation is intellectual property. We also have legal discovery, and records retention. And then we have misinterpretation and fraud. Best practices for legal compliance, that is to mitigate these risks. Companies should develop a communication policy, provide employee training, implement data governance, and seek legal counsel. The impact of technology in communication. The last subtopic, the impact of technology in communication. So where technology has transformed communication, make it more fast, efficient, and global. This change has brought about significant benefits and considerable challenges. We have positive impact. Some of the positive impacts are speed and efficiency, wider reach and accessibility, enhanced collaboration, cost effectiveness, neater and more legible documents, built-in error checking, easy editing and revision. We also have negative impacts, that is loss of non-verbal cues. We have information overloads, like now we have a lot of AIs and all this information. We also have reduced social skills because we are over-reliant on these digital communication tools. We also have privacy and security risk, that is sharing information online exposes individuals and businesses to privacy breaches, cyber attacks, and data theft. We've come to the end of today's topic. See you next time. This is Education by Mercy. Goodbye.